Hi everybody, welcome to the UEA's Nursing Podcast. My name's Joe Ellis-Gage and this is one of our Meet the Lecturer episodes with Lenny. Hi Lenny.
Hi Joe. Hi everyone.
Thank you for coming in. So we're going to find out a little bit about you, about your career and how you've got to be here at the university. So just start with a really brief introduction. Who are you and what do you do here?
So my name is Lenny. I'm a nursing lecturer in adult nursing at the UEA.
Fantastic. So what we like to do is have a chat kind of from start to finish, how you got to this point.
Yep.
And everyone sort of follows different routes through into nursing. And then once they're in nursing, it's a whole world of opportunity.
Yep.
So people have got different experiences. So let's start right at the beginning. At what point did you decide you wanted to become a nurse? Why did you make that call?
Probably when I came out of my mother.
Oh, really? You were one of those. You wanted to do it at that point.
Yes, I always was, nursing my dollies and talking about it. And as soon as I could talk, I would say,
So you are properly one of those people who said, this is my
Yeah.
calling from early on.
I have, divided a little bit and do other things and looked at other things, but it was always coming back to that.
And
yes.
did you have like family kind of connections to nursing or healthcare or anything like that?
Not really, no. My parents both wanted to become a nurse and they never did.
Ah, okay.
So maybe they have projected that on me. I don't know.
That's it. They're
Put
living
it in
kind
the
of
genes.
vicariously through you becoming a nurse. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But because sometimes when people want to do it early, it's because their mum was a nurse or their grandmother was a
Nope.
nurse or whatever. No,
No.
you were the first
Just
one.
an auntie, but that was far away. and
Yeah.
Not somebody I talk to very often.
Okay. So where did you do your training?
In the Netherlands, you
Yeah.
can hear I have an accent. And I did it in a little town called Gouda, which is a lovely place
Okay.
in Holland. And from there, when I had done my training, I went to practice in a bigger hospital.
Okay, so you sort of trained in a smaller sort of area.
Yes, yeah.
And just on that training front, how was that different to like the training we have at the UK?
I think you can sort of see it as we had an introduction for 3 months,
Okay.
and then I went working.
That was
And then
it.
we came back sometimes for a week, and of course for exams, but that was it. So it was mostly
Mostly
working.
on the job kind of, yeah.
And learning by doing. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And did you go into that straight from finishing school?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was 18.
Excellent. And did you enjoy it?
I loved it, but I didn't like a lot of things in the beginning. To get in that little space of learning and doing in a sort of professional way, that was a bit new to me, and I had to get used to that.
Oh, okay, so did you have some doubts early on that maybe you'd made the wrong choice?
Yeah, yes.
okay.
Not for the patients, but more about, the people I worked with. Is this really what I want to do?
Yeah.
Because I want to work with patients. I don't want all this structure. And you can see, of course, that I'm a bit older. So, when in the time that I did it, they were really severe.
Quite traditional ways of working and
yes,
stuff.
Yeah, I think that was most the same here, although...
Yeah, I would imagine so, yeah.
Yeah, it was hard in the beginning. But I think by the second year, when I had a really nice ward and I really enjoyed what they did, it was a surgical ward, then I thought, this is where I want to go.
Yeah,
Yes.
we still get students like that now that might not be the traditional thing in the same way, but they might not enjoy their first placement and they kind of have that wobble.
Yeah.
And then they go somewhere and they're like,
Yeah.
this is it.
You just have to give it a chance, really.
Yeah, give it that bit of time.
Yeah.
And then you say you finished your training and then you moved to get your first job somewhere a bit busier, a bit more going on.
Yeah.
And what sort of area did you work in when you qualified?
It was, again, a surgical ward, but the people that came there were having problems like internal, so medical problems.
Okay.
And then if it turned out to be they needed a surgery, they stayed on the same ward, which I really, really loved, because seeing a patient through from beginning to end is just, whether they go home or whether they die, it's just,
You still get to do that full spectrum of caring for
Yeah,
someone.
that's what I really love.
And did you stay there long?
I stayed there for 3 years, I think, yes. And then I sort of got a bit of itch.
Yeah.
I wanted to see other things. Yeah.
So where did you go next?
Well, I worked for an agency
Okay.
and sort of went everywhere. other hospitals, nursing homes, care homes. I just tried everything. And then at one point there was no work on the wards that I really wanted to work. And then they said, but we do have a place in the children's department.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I don't think
That wasn't your thing.
I don't think I'm really, suitable for that. But I'll have a chat with them. And that was such a positive chat. And I thought, oh, well, maybe this is really nice. So I'll give it a go. And I worked in the medium care, with the little babies.
Yeah.
And I just loved it.
Ah. And it wasn't what you'd been setting out to do at all.
And this is always the thing in my whole life. All my routes that I've taken are sort of a surprise.
Yeah.
Because when I was 16, I thought, there was this ad on the TV, and it said that they were looking for nurses to go away abroad. And I thought,
Okay.
That's what I want to do. I told my mum, I said, don't be afraid. One day I will do that. But then I never thought about it anymore. So I became a children's nurse.
And how long were you doing that?
So that was like a top up of my first training for a year, and then I was in children's nursing for 10 years on different wards. I was also involved in training, and then of course I did my training qualification because I thought training that's really nice.
Yeah.
So then I became a nurse tutor for the children's specialisation.
Okay, and that's within a hospital setting still, or
Yeah,
in terms of clinical, like a clinical educator, practice educator type role.
you can say it like that, and you taught as well. So they came to school. That's when you saw the students, and you also saw them on the ward. So you followed them through. Yeah, and then there was an opportunity to become a manager in a place where, we have that in Holland. When you have a baby, you can have a nurse coming to your house or a nursing assistant, and then they look after the mother and the father and the family for 10 days.
Okay.
In those days. That's not anymore, but in those days. And I did that for a couple of years. Then the company went bust, so I ended up, I don't know how, but in Doctors Without Borders.
Oh, wow. That's quite a jump.
So one of my colleagues, she popped the ad on my desk because she knew that, we worked together, so she knew me very well, and she knew I had aspirations on that side as well. She said, go and give it a go. And then I did, and I became a recruiter. So I was like, not a nurse at the time, but I had all the experience, and then was talking to people who wanted to go to the field. That's very interesting because I had never been there.
So you went straight into the recruitment into it rather than actually going out and doing that initial bits of work.
Yeah, it was really trying to get people into working for Doctors Without Borders and what they had to do for it. So you did a lot of presentations and talks and things. Until I went to the field, because then I saw this nurse working in Sierra Leone, and I thought, I can do that. So then I signed up, and I went.
And where did you go to?
I went for 9 months to Sudan. Yeah, and that was, the most wonderful and most horrible experience because it's both. It's not easy. It's really not easy to work there. Doctors Without Borders are often going to areas where it is not completely safe. Yep. Especially nowadays. In those days, it was relatively safe, but we often went out and had, quite strict instructions. But it was so good to do, and I learned so much from it. It was a lot of teaching again. Yeah. So that seems to come back in. That's like
lots of you got that sort of thread of dipping into teaching all the way through. Yeah. Yeah, and I guess that's an important part of the work they do, is because you can't just go out there and fix everything. You know, to educate the people out there to how they can look after themselves better and different techniques and stuff.
And bring the quality up as well a little bit, because they often know exactly what to do, how to stitch somebody up, but why they have to do this and how they have to do that they don't know. So it's very interesting. Yeah.
But that must have been a really hard 9 months. I mean, that's
ups and downs. But I came away from it thinking, this is such a rich experience. Everything that I have in me, I can put in there. So I thought, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go half a year, somewhere really nice on holiday, or, do something for the community or whatever, on a nice island or in the sunshine. And then half a year I go and work for Doctors Without Borders or another organization. And I ended up in Malaysia.
Okay.
Learned to dive.
Right. Lovely.
Very nice experience and a really lovely thing to do. And I thought, well, see, there we go. I can teach in diving, I can teach in nursing, and then I can make a balance of that. So I went to Greece, where I spent the summer in a dive school. And then I met my husband.
Okay.
So things changed again.
Yeah.
But I did go back to Holland regularly to be a nurse and to earn a bit of money.
But had the opportunity to go out and do these other things in between.
Yeah. And then, we had our business together, and that has nothing to do with nursing. I really emigrated then to Greece.
Your husband's Greek?
No, he's English.
He's English.
Yeah. So then after about 7 years, we made the decision to come back, and that was partly because we experienced the hospital on the Greek side, and we thought that's not what we need to do. When we get older, you really need to have relatives or friends there who can look after you, as well as the nursing staff. So we decided to come back to the UK because I speak English and my husband didn't speak a lot of Dutch. Yeah,
so it made more sense to go to the UK. Where
and because I was a nurse, again, you can
work anywhere.
Yeah, you can work everywhere. And when I got the NMC sorted, that took about a year. Yeah, that was long and hard, but got it sorted, and then started in the NNN. Yeah. On the bank, because I thought I'm just going to have a look around.
See what's available. Yeah.
Ended up in a bit of infection prevention control as a bank nurse, and then in the day procedure unit, where again I had that patient experience from beginning to
end. Yeah.
And then there was an opportunity to become a clinical educator.
Yeah,
so I did that.
Drew you back in, which is not surprising based on all the teaching bits you've done throughout your career.
Absolutely. And a year after that, they were going to extend it, but again on a temporary contract. So I then got the opportunity to work in the infection prevention control team. Yeah, so that's what I did for 3 years in the NNN. Yeah, and then 3.5 years in NCHNC. Yeah. So during the pandemic, I was a full-on infection prevention control.
That was an experience to be an infection control nurse at that point. Yeah.
Yes. Wow. And that is the time that I thought, well, it's time to dive deeper in the teaching, because I really love education. Yeah. And I applied at the UEA. And obviously they wanted me here.
Yeah. So you're a prime example when we're talking to students about where they can go next. Of there almost are no boundaries. Like you can go around the world. Absolutely. You can dip in and out of jobs. You can do a job for 10 years, or you can do a job for 6 months. And there's so much scope. Yeah. To
that's my
explore.
Experience as well. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And so since starting at the university, what is it you like most about working here?
Well, that's student contact. I love to do lessons face to face. Yeah. Have that interaction. My seminars, I love doing that. That's my main love. Yeah. And all the other things, well, they need to be done as well. So I'm now doing the option module for the community. Yep. Which I also very much like, because it's like, my little thing.
Yeah, you've got control over it, and you can make it as good as you can make it. And
yes.
Yeah. But that's good. I mean, that's the main thing, isn't it? That student contact is the bit that we all signed up to. Like that's what we all were thinking of when we became lecturers.
And I love to learn more. So I never stop learning. For me, it is always continuing. So now I'm doing the PG Cert and hopefully become a fellow at the end of this year.
Fantastic.
So
yeah. Well, that's excellent. Thank you very much. I think you've given us a really good, interesting kind of snapshot. I imagine that now there's going to be students who want to come and ask you about Sudan and Malaysia and all the different things you've done, so they can come and find you and learn more. Thank you very much for coming in to talk to us.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks for watching this interview with Lenny. Hopefully you found it interesting. Have a click on the like button if you liked it. Click subscribe. Add any comments or questions below, and we'll always answer and get back to you. And also have a look around on the site, because on the nursing playlist there's a whole load of other nursing interviews with lecturers and some other episodes on there as well, which you might want to have a look at. Thanks very much, and thanks, Lenny.
Thank you.